Hello there, Asher, and today I'm gonna help you, hopefully, to know the difference between high-end freelancer and commodity freelancer, and help you to sell better and gain more clients with higher prices, etc. So before that, let me present myself and tell you who I am and why I'm able to give you some advice in this topic. So basically, I'm Ashada, a producer of animated videos for advertising. Works mostly from my home office, had the chance to double my rate twice, and worked with big clients such as Yves Salon, H&M, Monoprix, etc. So hopefully we're gonna start with a question, which is what's the difference between the freelancers who work for platforms such as Upwork, Fiverr, whatever they are, freelancer.com, and a high-end freelancer which basically works alone. In the platform, we have the good thing that we have easy access to clients. Most people go there because they want some problem solved really quickly, and that's the place that they go to find freelancers. So it makes sense to be in them. Uh, the problem is it's like a freelancing store, which is basically people are looking for the lowest prices ever. So which means low budget and you can negotiate at all. As well, you can go deep in the relationship between you and your clients, not before or even after the sale. You can't have a conversation outside of the platform, so if you want to call them or stuff like that, you have to go through the platform itself. Otherwise, you might be banned, and that's the last issue and biggest issue is you may lose all your work if you ever get banned. So you will get no leads, all your work is gone, you don't know who are your clients anymore. But the high-end clients, I mean the high-end freelancers, the cool thing about them, uh, most of the clients they are built up on relationship, which are like friendship. And the more they are your clients, the deeper it goes, and the better it becomes. Hopefully, at least. You show the prices of the project you are gonna pitch to, and it's all about negotiation between you and the client. It's not just them giving you the price, either you accept it or not. There's a lot of negotiation that goes into it. But the bad side about it is you have to do a lot of marketing and a lot of work before even meeting the client or talking to him. And the hardest part of it all is advertising your name and being known in the field you are working in. So the key here is you don't want to be a commodity, and we want you to be more as a good freelancer who basically knows what he's talking about. So to start this, I'm gonna basically explain the steps of how you can go there. I can go in detail because I have a time limit, but basically the first thing you have to do is pick a niche and provide a service for that niche and know that the service is needed, because if nobody needs it, you can't sell anything, and there's value for the client, and over time you could grow. These are like the four key things you have to do to be able to grow in the business as a freelancer. And for that, I'm going to give you my example of how I do things. So I'm known to make advertising videos for Snapchat and Instagram. My clients are developers of application and video games. And basically, because I took this specific niche, I'm able to, for example, if the first time I pitch to my client, I will be like, yeah, that service will be like $1,000. The second client comes, I'm gonna be 1,250. The next one 1,500, and the next 2,000, etc. Until I get to a point where my prices doesn't matter that much. Actually, I start getting refused because I'm really expensive, and that's when I know I went to acceptable price. Why do I call that acceptable price? But because when a client just accepts your pitch without negotiation, that means you are too cheap. You have to go to the point where they're gonna say, yeah, you are too expensive, stuff like that. You're gonna be like, okay, maybe I'm too expensive, but for now we could make a sale just for you because I really want to work with you. and the next time it's gonna be my normal price or something like that. So you get it. Until at that point, that means you have got what you are looking for. And why do I say pick a niche and don't do any job? Because it's okay sometimes to refuse clients. It happens. Because, for example, if I work with one day application and video games developers, the next one clothing, the next one with cars providers and stuff like that, there's a problem here, which is every time a new client comes, I have to start all over to find a solution for them. But when I work always with the same kind of clients, I already know their problems, I already know what most of them want, and I can develop it. I can go deeper, so I can raise my prices easier. So that's one of the keys why. But let's talk a little bit about the issues of most of the freelancers who starts to work as a freelancer. The problem is most of them, they basically, whenever they think about moving to freelancing, they never think about the other services that most people do. What do I mean by this? I will go into it later. Uh, for now, we have like this guy whose name is Bob. Bob wants to be a freelancer. He looked around, he didn't find client, so what will he do? He will go directly to the websites where they provide like freelance jobs, Favor, Upwork, etc. And then he will be beaten up by the prices. He will be like, why did I even quit my job if in the end I'm just gonna make low prices? So the key here of moving to freelancing, you should know that it's not only about the technical skills you have, it's about the soft skills. Why do I say this? Because most people, when they change, they go to freelance, they don't think about the other stuff that management do, like directing leads into clients, or doing all this kind of jobs that usually we don't see, but it happens. Management, marketing, pitching, all of that's all what I call soft skills, and they are really, really important. So for that, I'm gonna give you two examples. We have Bob, our friend Bob, friendly Bob. Bob is here, and we have Josh. Bob and Josh, they are all both artists. They know how to draw. Bob draws much better than Josh, 10 times better actually. But he only makes $50 a month, rather than Josh. He's a decent artist. He has like a cartoony style. He can't even draw like realistic drawing and stuff like that. But he makes $3,000 a month, and he's able to live out of that. But what's the difference between the two? Most of people gonna say Josh probably knows people, probably stuff like that, but that means Josh have what I call soft skills. Bob gonna be like, the market doesn't work or stuff like that. He's gonna blame the market. But Josh gonna be more like, I know people, so I do marketing, I pitch, I find problems, and I try to solve them. And before getting into everything, let's talk about one of the biggest issues ever, is how to get your first client. Okay. And actually, just I'm gonna say a small thing is the difference between the two is one is like, it happens a lot, not only in freelancing. When people try to find a new job, some of them gonna throw like, it's like a spaghetti. They're gonna throw all the spaghetti on the wall and see what sticks, and that's bad. What you want to do is actually do the research. It's like when you want to get a job, you throw all the CVs and resume to 100 company, and all the resume looks, they are generic and they look alike. But then you have another person who only sends like 20 specific resume, and only like how do I say this, and out of the 20 he gets like 5 response with 3 positive, and the other one who maybe sent 100 only gets 1 or 2 and they are negative. So that's really bad. We have like the 20p resume guy gets like a response of 25%, and the other one only gets a response of 1 or 2%. It's a big difference. Even if it takes more time, if the results are better, go with a slower one. Okay, then we're gonna have the biggest problem ever: how we get our first client, which is important. So how do we get our first client? It's hard because it's hard to sell your service to a client, and to do that you have to be known for what you are doing. For now, I'm going to give you an example of basically, yeah, you have to present yourself as a problem solver rather than a hard skill specialist. And here's an example of a web designer who is basically he said, okay, I'm gonna take the niche of hotels, and I'm gonna provide like websites for hotels. And so what is he looking for? He's looking for a few things. Well, hotels that don't have website, hotels that don't have like compatible websites for the smartphones, websites with don't have online booking, for example, and stuff like that. And when he tries to pitch his idea to the client, there might be a problem. What do I mean by that? Let's say if he found an hotel, that hotel looks quite interesting, an opportunity for him, and he gonna pitch himself. I think he's gonna be doing something like this. Hey, I see your hotel doesn't have a website. If you want a website, I can make you one with dynamic pages, images of the rooms, and online booking. Thanks, Bob. And if he gets a response, he's probably gonna be something like this as well. Hi, Bob. That would be great. How much would it cost? Thank you for answering. It will be $1,000 for a simple website. And the answer will be, that's too much. I have a friend who did it for 500, and here Bob have to accept his fate of $500 or $750, I think, if he want to negotiate a little bit more. But it's never gonna go over 1,000 because that's the price he set. Or if what happens most of the time, if you throw off the prices right away, the client don't respond, and you get nothing. So how would I do the same thing? I will probably do something like this. Hey, I was looking for a hotel in that place. Your hotel never came out on Google. I had to book my stay in another hotel, but I came across it in my stay, and I had to talk to you because I know a way on how I can help you get more client. This is a keyword. I'm a hotel web designer specialist. I can help you get out there on Google so people can find and book directly without having to manage them. It's going to save your time and let you make more money. Is that something you are interested in? Josh. Smarty Josh. So what happened here? What's the difference between the two? First of all, in the first paragraph, I told him where and how I heard about him. In the second paragraph, I told him my hard skills and why he needs them. That's another key, which is basically offer plus benefits. It's important to say the benefits to your client. If you tell him, I want to make you a website, ask yourself why you want to make him a website. Why would he buy a website? And the benefits, you have to put them in your offer. And as you can see, I didn't say anything technical without giving the benefits or implementing them, which is really important as well, because most of the clients don't understand our technical words. For example, Photoshop, Illustrator, HTTP or PHP or whatever you're gonna program your website with. So you're probably gonna get an answer from this. Hey Josh, that would be great. I would love to know more about your offer. How much would it cost as a website or to make a website? Basically, here I took like the worst response that could ever happen, if you will get any, which is basically, again, he's gonna take the conversation directly to the price. So the smart way to do is to say, hey, I'm glad to be able to help you out, but before talking about the prices, I would love to know more about your business. Could we schedule a call this Monday? Aha, now that's interesting, because now you're gonna give him a call and know better about his business. And the key here is basically, if you're gonna know his business and stuff like that, you're gonna ask a lot of questions, smart ones actually, and could give him more solutions and be honest about it. Like, you don't have to go to sell everything. You could, maybe he doesn't need like online booking. Maybe he prefers to manage his clients alone with a phone call or something. But the key here is to talk to him, to make this friendship with him. So now it's not just an offer of a service, now it's like a business. You are making this relationship hopefully last. So and depending on the call you make, you're gonna say, yeah, after we talked, you're gonna say something like this, I think. Hey, after analyzing your business, I think we could let you make 10% more sales this year. How does that sound to you? Could you share the numbers with me? He will be like, whoa, awesome. 10% more, that means 200,000 for us. So that's great. Now you know how much your work values. So you continue on, how does 10% sound to you for such a project? Which means basically $20,000 for the project to be made. So now again, you are not talking about technical stuff, just telling him about the prices you would put to make the service. And this for him, like 10%, and you could provide him like 10 times more. Of course he's gonna get it. Even if he doesn't gonna get it, he will know that it's pretty fair for you to pay that much. For him to pay that much for your services, because you give him the value of your work. Here's another example. If you couldn't get the numbers from him, and you don't know the how much your service is gonna give them, or what 10% for them, you could use brackets. So you'll be like, hey, after talking to you, we usually make this kind of jobs for 2k, 20k, or to 30k. He may say something like, whoa man, that's kind of expensive, I don't know if we could afford it. And you're like, yeah, I know it's expensive, but according to what we discussed, I assure you that the rest you are getting out of this are at least five times the price of the service. And here you could again start negotiating with them, and probably you will not get less than $15,000 out of this project. So that's how we managed to go from a service like this. For the same service, we were able to basically go from 500, 1,000 to five figures, 15,000, 20,000, 30,000, and stuff like that. So it's a key to know the problem of the client and to talk to them, so they know how much you could give them out of your services. And that's basically the difference between Bob, a casual freelancer, and Josh, a pro. So to recapitulate, this is what we discussed. Know your niche. Know the problem you are solving. Give the benefits to your clients with the offer. So yeah, don't just give them the offer, and go deep with them and solve the problem with them. Thank you for listening. You can find me at ashada.com. So this is my website. You can contact me if you want. I have my email there and stuff like that. And thank you for listening again. See you later.